Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Today's episode is brought to you by Angie. Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs and projects done well. Let me tell you, there's the version of it where you try to do something at home, and then there's a version of it where you have someone help you, you watch them do it the right way, and you go, thank God I didn't try to do that myself. I have fully done things around the home that I think look good, and then a bang in the night, and I wake up to a shelf collapsing, a painting falling off the wall. I've seen it all go south. I own a home, and I can tell you, I know how much work it can take. Whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Whatever your home project, big or small, indoor or outdoor, you can Angie that and connect with skilled professionals to get the project done well. Right now, one of my wish lists is I want a bike for my condo in Milwaukee, and I would love to rig it up on a pulley in the ceiling because I have one of those like lofted ceilings, but I'm so scared to try that on my own. Angie has 20 years of home experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Have you seen this challenge online? It's called the Breaking My Heart Challenge. And people are posting pictures of their parents from back in the day. And they're like, oh, my mom used to break hearts back in the day. So I wanted to make one of those. So I'm digging through this box of pictures and I'm like, is this really like the best way to organize the family photos in giant boxes in the basement? I found a solution from our friends at Legacy Box. You're going to love Legacy Box. For a limited time only, you can visit legacybox.com/ratchet and save 50%. That's legacybox.com/ratchet to shop 50% off. This sale won't last long. legacybox.com/ratchet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, you are listening to Ratchet and Respectable. I was going to greet you with May the Lord open or blessed fruit or under his eye. But we have until January 20th until we are officially living the real life version of The Handmaid's Tale. I will enjoy our last days of freedom. I say our. I know I'm overseas more often than I am home. I still am a tax-paying American citizen. I don't have dual citizenship anywhere. I have an in and out 5-year visa for Ghana, and everywhere else, I abide by the rules of the country's visas. Some folks let us in and out and allow long stays, like London, I think it's 6 months, EU, 90 days in total per every 180 days, which actually does mean you can stay in a combination, London and Europe, for about 9 months and still be legal. I don't really know what to say right now, to be 110 with you. I do a podcast. When people ask what it is, I'm like, oh, it's like, what women talk about in the group chat. My entire group chat is basically mourning and despair right now. I never fully gave myself over to the idea that Kamala Harris could be our next president. I obviously wanted her to be. I voted for her. I sent money to the campaign. I very much wanted her to be our first Madam President. Because of the way things played out with Hillary, where I had just given myself over, like it was a done deal. Like, of course Hillary's going to win. Yes, there is still sexist in existence, but like you vote for the idiot over the woman just because she's a woman? Really? And then that happened. And I remember like the utter despair when the election was called for Trump in 2016. I knew, like most people, most sane people, that it was going to be hell. And it was. And then Trump doesn't get elected when he runs against Biden. I took it as, I don't think Biden's campaign was really all that amazingly run. I just thought people were sick of Trump because, COVID and like the Muslim ban and shithole countries and throwing the paper towels at the Puerto Ricans, like the constant ranting and chaos and divisiveness, like nonstop for 4 years. I was like, okay, like America wants something different. And so Biden, and then the Biden thing doesn't work out this time around. And then enter Kamala Harris, like Black woman comes like we always do, put on the cape and save the republic. Cause like somebody got to do this shit. We can't do it. And now we're going to tag you in to fix up the mess. And she ran a hell of a campaign. I read the other day she raised over $1 billion. Like, I don't know what else she could have done. And I'm just talking about money, but in terms of the rallies and getting in front of people and the commercials and the social media and like, here are the plans and giving everybody their individual plans. So nobody's just guessing like, here it is for you. And then here it is for you. And then here it is for you. And she does the podcast. Like she got the word out. Like she brings in the celebrity component because they get the eyeballs. Like, I don't know what else could have been done. You can't change from not being Black and not being a woman. I'd never given myself over to all of that, even though I thought she was supremely great for the job because of what happened with Hillary. Me thinking that America will do the quote and unquote right thing, the sensible thing, like the thing that actually won't cause chaos and destruction. That's not it. And I also realized that what I think is chaotic and what I think is destructive and what I think is, completely batshit, there's a whole group of people, seemingly the majority of Americans, at least the voting majority of Americans, that's what they want. They don't think it's chaos. They don't think it's batshit. Like they don't think it's abnormal. They think it's sensible. It's logical to them. I think it's the worst thing that could possibly happen. And they're cheering in the streets because they think it's like the best course of action for America. I hoped Trump wouldn't win. That was my hope. I couldn't fully throw myself into like Kamala's going to do it. She's going to pull through. Like she could do this because I've been American too long. I did hope, like beg with God, like Dwayne Wayne at the wedding level begging, please, America, please. And they did it anyway. They voted this man back into office after all we went through the first time around so he could finish us off. The first election was just him blowing the mic. Now he's about to finish us off. We're still, as of right now, waiting on the results for the House. The Senate and President are Republicans, and then Supreme Court Judicial is red because how many justices are there? 7. 3 of them are liberal. The 3 women. More or less, he has all 3 branches of government. Whatever crazy laws they come up with, Trump has already said that he's going to start rounding up and deporting people on day 1. Out the gate, we getting rid of the immigrants. Like he's already said that. Like whatever they come up with, like these crazy ideas that they have from Project 25, this American theocracy, this real life Handmaid's Tale type shit they want to be on. They can create laws, pass them, just run a straight Boston on us. I keep seeing people say, and I'm a Christian, I believe in God, but I keep seeing people say it. I'm like, why are y'all all saying the same thing? God is in control. God is in control. God is in control. I hear you. I believe in God. I believe in a higher power. I do not think God has abandoned us. I do not think we have been forsaken. And still, I don't want to hear no God is in control right now. Let people mourn. Let it sink in like the hell that we are about to face. And let us figure out ways to cope or deal. Give folks a moment to just I don't know, freak the fuck out. Like, don't do fentanyl because that shit's dangerous. But like, it's a time for cocaine. It is. Let's skip heroin too. Opioids aren't really that great for you. Try uppers. I also say that like with liquor is actually a downer. Cocaine. I usually don't endorse these things, but tough times call for tough choices. Who am I to judge in this moment? I keep hearing people say like, oh, we'll get through this. Like our ancestors survived worse. Like our ancestors have been through so much and we're still here. We will survive. I feel you. I hear you. I want more than survival for my life. Staying alive is the bare minimum. I wanted us to be in a position to thrive. I wanted that available to the maximum number of people possible. And I just don't see how it is possible under a Trump administration. I saw this guy earlier today, I think it was on Joy Reid's page, a guy from Poland. They had a Trump-esque situation for a while where they elected a right-wing president and also all their branches of government went red as well. The first big thing was like the abortion bans. Women couldn't leave the country to get an abortion. Doctors were punished. Women came out in all black. They did this massive protest, like unforeseen numbers. And they were like, and the abortion ban still passed. Great, you're protesting, but it means nothing. We have the power to, and we will. So fuck you. And then they started making these anti-LGBT zones. I had to look that up because I'd never heard of it before. Reading on CNN, over 100 municipalities in Poland declared themselves anti-LGBT zones, which means that they don't want LGBT folks to gather or quote and unquote promote LGBT activities or lifestyles, whatever they're calling it. They also don't want them to hold protests there. The businesses put signs in the window saying that they were anti-LGBTs so folks would know that they are unwelcome. Still reading on CNN, it says a massive EU study found that LGBT plus people on the continent generally felt safer than they did 5 years ago. Poland was the glaring exception. 2/3 of gay, lesbian, and transgender Poles said intolerance or acts of violence against them had increased, while 4 in 5 said they avoid certain places for fear of being assaulted, the highest rate in Europe. It says, still reading from CNN, it says during a re-election campaign, the incumbent president, Duda, CNN notes he's a staunch ally of Donald Trump. He warned the country of, quote, an LGBT ideology more dangerous to Poland than communism. The governing party's powerful leader claimed that LGBT people, quote, threaten the Polish state. The new education minister said last year, these people are not equal to normal people. And last year, an archbishop bemoaned that his country was under siege from a rainbow plague. And Poland has now become, quote, the worst EU country for LGBT people in Europe, according to continental watchdog ILGA Europe. Also, for the folks who are like, well, I'm not LGBT, just FYI, the folks who hate the gays are never really that fond of the blacks. Oh, the gays, I hate them, but those blacks, they're wonderful. I just love them. Never. It goes in tandem. They hate the gays, they hate the blacks, they hate the brown, they hate the women, they hate the immigrants, unless they're fucking them. Then they can stay. See Melania. And Ivana. May she rest in peace. Out there on that golf course. I know none of you watch porn, but just in case you have any friends that do, help me pass along this important PSA. Incognito mode does not make you incognito. Check the fine print. All your late night activities or early morning, however you like to watch, or your friend, are still 100% available to a ton of third parties, unless you use ExpressVPN. Without ExpressVPN, your internet service provider, your mobile network provider, and the admins of your Wi-Fi network, your school, boss, your parents, can still see every website you visit, even in incognito mode. ExpressVPN will hide your IP address, making it extremely difficult for third parties to track your online activity. It's also easy to use. Just fire up the app and click one button to get protected. And ExpressVPN works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay private on the go. I use ExpressVPN so I can watch my American shows when I'm abroad or watch my international shows when I'm back in America. But whatever you intend to use ExpressVPN for, protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/ratchet. That's expressvpn.com/ratchet. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/ratchet. We've all hit the point where we realized it was time to make serious money moves. Take control of your finances by using a Chime checking account with features like no maintenance fees, fee-free overdraft up to $200, or getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Learn more at chime.com/ratchet. I love that Chime is a financial institution with a sense of community. If you're low on finances, get spotted on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. Chime offers no monthly fees or maintenance fees. And my favorite part, how easy they make it to access your money with over 50,000 fee-free ATMs. Make your fall finances a little greener by working towards your financial goals with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/ratchet. That's chime.com/ratchet. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank North America or Stride Bank North America. Members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to the monthly limits. Terms and conditions apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. People are like, it's just 4 years. You'll get through it. What privilege you must have to say that. You're clearly not one of the targets. Is it 4 years? Do y'all not hear the words coming out of this man's mouth? He was very much on the campaign trail saying, if you vote for me this time, you never have to vote again. This man idolizes dictators. Like he wants to be fucking Putin or what's the guy running North Korea? Like he likes dictators. He thinks that shit's cool. He just did a Hitler rally at MSG. You think he's going to just walk away like, oh, I've done my 4 years. I can't run again. Like this is it for me. No, he's not stepping down. I watched Kamala Harris's concession speech at Howard. When we were waiting for it to start, the DJ played My President is Black. Could have been. We fucked that up. Not we as in black people. I mean, because black people did the thing we were supposed to do. Black women, 93% of black women voted for Kamala Harris. I read 80% of black men did the same. That other 20%, we're going to focus on the 80. The vast majority of black men voted for Kamala Harris. It's like she'd aged overnight. Tim Walz, Coach Walz, looked like he'd been crying all night. Her voice cracked during the speech. She held it together. She didn't cry, but her voice cracked and wavered. I've never heard her do that before. But she looked like what she's going through. And she gave a hopeful message. It was something about the stars shine brightest when the sky is dark. Light up the sky with like a billion bright stars, something like that. It sounded very beautiful. It was Shakespeare-esque. Like the writers are doing what the writers are supposed to do. If there's any budget left, give them a raise. The God is in control people and the extra optimistic people, they're driving me up a wall right now. I also recognize that we do need them, even though they're annoying as fuck in this moment. We do need someone to help pull us out. We can't just walk around in despair and depression for the next 4 years. But we do need optimism. We do need light. We do need hope. We do need to shine bright and all of that stuff. But like just this week and maybe next week too. Actually, give us until inauguration and then maybe like 30 days after. I mean, keep your joy, keep your optimism. There is a place for it and we do need it. Just the timing is terrible. I guess it would be bad leadership if Kamala Harris went on stage and was like, fuck all y'all, fuck Trump, fuck this country, fuck the election. Like that would be gangster for real. Or would it just be Trump? Because those are two different things. People conflate them sometimes. I don't know what I'm going to do. I was planning to come home next year. I planned in my head that I would come home in December and then I would stick around until at least September. This has just thrown everything off. I guess I was, in a sense, hoping for her to win because I was thinking about going to Ghana for December and I was very adamant that I had to be home by January 20th because of inauguration. I was planning that she would win and I would go to her inauguration. Now I wonder, like legitimately, like in my lifetime, if we will see a woman as president. Average lifespan for a black woman is what? 77 years. I think I could make it to 80. That would give me what, like 35 more summers in my lifetime. You think it'll happen? I don't know. America's sexism is, we kind of are what we think the Taliban is. Like we'd be like, oh my God, how could they treat the women like that? We about to find out. This is bad. Real bad. Joe Jackson. I saw this post that's circulating around Facebook. There's this guy, he's a white nationalist. I can't remember his name. It sounded Latino. He was taunting women, your body, my choice. And someone responded to him, you don't have to worry about it. No one would ever fuck you. And someone responded to her, we don't need permission. That's where we are as a country. This text has been circulating. I first saw a woman saying that her daughter was away at college and some of the Black students at the university had received this text. But I also just saw it posted on Washington Problems. It's an Instagram account that I follow. The language is slightly different, but similar enough. It reads, "Greetings. You have been selected to be a house slave at Abingdon Plantation. Come to this address, listen address, at 5 a.m. tomorrow, sharp, with all of your belongings. This is mandatory. Our executive spaces will come get you in a turquoise van. Be prepared to be searched down once you enter the plantation ground. You will be stationed at Plantation Point L. Sincerely, Trump administration." Obviously, I'm hoping, because you never really know with Trump and them, I'm hoping this didn't actually come from the administration. This sounds like somebody just being like a jackass playing with people's phones. This is crazy. Call it what it is. It's a form of terrorism. My father said this when Trump got elected in 2016. He said, "We have dark times ahead." We do. I think it's very mindful at this time not to play too much blame game, at least from Black folk to other Black folk. There's a bunch of polls out there. The most consistent one I've seen about voting, like overwhelmingly white men voted for Trump, something like 60%, which, yeah, I expected. White women, 53%. Is that up from what they did in 2016 or pretty consistent? Latino men, over 50% voted for Trump, which I'm like, after that Nazi rally, after all his conversation about deportation, y'all don't think y'all at the top of the list? I was informed like Latinos think they're white, and I was like, do you know that white folks don't think y'all white? Y'all still other to them. I know what you might think, but like in South Africa, I think I'm Black. They think I'm colored. Their perception trumps, unintentional pun, in this space because I'm on their land. White folks don't see y'all as white. But okay. But overwhelmingly, Latino men and a good chunk of Latino women, I think it was around 40%, voted for Trump. I think I mentioned this earlier. It's talking about rounding people up in mass deportations on day one. Y'all know y'all gonna be in that number, right? I can't. I tried to help. I tried. I voted for Kamala. I tried to stop it. Good luck with that. I think the biggest issue, and I've seen a video circulating about this as well, a lot of Democrats just didn't turn out. I was looking at something online. Trump's numbers in terms of popular vote, but he got 1 million less votes than last time. The last election, Biden got like 81 million votes. In this election, Kamala Harris only got 67 million. That 14 million person difference, it's not like they all went and voted for Trump. It wasn't enough votes for Green and Independent to say they siphoned it away. A lot of Democrats just didn't show up. So we look at those numbers from like Kamala's rallies, we see them packed to the hilt. We look at her closing arguments in D.C., 75,000 people on the mall. You see these numbers that it must reflect like a feeling that's happening for the people who aren't able to be in the room. And in some cases, yeah, but for 15 million folks that showed up last time, not this time. It could be a bunch of factors. Could be because she's Black, could be because she's a woman, could be issues over Palestine. I said on an episode before the election actually happened that just Donald Trump being the Republican nominee and being up for this office is something that will be studied in history, even if it was just like how close we came to losing democracy. And then now it's here. God help us. We gonna need it. I think the biggest reason that Trump won, though, is because he's a white man in America. It's just that simple. There's a really popular quote circulating. It's not being attributed to Van Lathan. They're just calling him a Black podcaster, but it's totally Van Lathan. I mean, he is a Black podcaster, but he does have a name, and his podcast is really good. Higher Learning, Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay, cousin Rachel, Bachelorette Rachel, same Rachel. But this is the quote. I want to read it and also make sure he gets credit for this quote because I've seen it everywhere. It says, a Black podcaster summed it up. It's a masterclass in white privilege. He, being Trump, can't say enough racist things to be racist. He can't commit enough crimes to be a criminal. He can't fail enough times to be a failure. He can't say enough stupid things to be stupid. The idea of him overshadows any reality. The quote and unquote Christian savior who doesn't know the Bible, the adulterer who fucks porn stars and steals from charities. It's the promise of the protection of whiteness he represents. That's how we got this president. For number 45, and 47.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Have you seen this challenge online? It's called the Breaking My Heart Challenge. And people are posting pictures of their parents from back in the day. And they're like, oh, my mom used to break hearts back in the day. So I wanted to make one of those. So I'm digging through this box of pictures and I'm like, is this really like the best way to organize the family photos in giant boxes in the basement? I found a solution from our friends at Legacy Box. You're going to love Legacy Box. Every day, your home movies and photos are slowly fading away. They fade away in closets or worse, break down because of the dampness of your garage or heat in your attic or wherever you're storing your photos. Well, right now, you can easily access those memories and protect them forever for 50% off with code RATCHET. Legacy Box is easy. Load Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, and pictures and send it back. You'll get it back on a thumb drive or cloud, ready to watch and easy to share. It's so simple. It's like magic. Our family photos, I'm talking about my baby pictures, all my parents' stuff, and my grandparents' stuff. They were all stored in boxes in the basement. The idea of something happening to all that history, oh my God. I'm so glad I found Legacy Box to keep my family's history safe. For a limited time only, you can visit legacybox.com/ratchet and save 50%. That's legacybox.com/ratchet to shop 50% off. This sale won't last long. legacybox.com/ratchet.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
There are a couple upsides to the election I think are worth mentioning. 2 Black women were elected to the United States Senate. Angela Alsobrooks, representing Maryland, I voted for her. She was running against the former governor. The former governor decided he wanted to be a U.S. Senator, Republican. He did right by us during COVID, but he went and got us the mask for the state of Maryland, which I thank you. I truly do. But I voted for Angela. And then there's a Black U.S. Senator from Delaware. Looking up her name right now. Her name is Lisa Blunt Rochester. And she is the state's first female senator. So first female senator and first Black woman senator. Many places have noted this is the first time that there will be 2 Black women in the U.S. Senate at the same time. I'm reading that on The Guardian. Last time it was just Kamala up there by herself or Carol Mosley Braun up there by herself. Now there's 2. Now there's 2 women at the same time. Congratulations to them. I don't know how effective they'll be. I mean, because the Senate is red. But at least there'll be a prominent voice of dissent. 7 states voted to protect abortion rights. I'm reading on CNN. It says these measures would expand the right to abortion where abortion is banned or limited. Some of the measures in these states would amend the Constitution to do so. Those states are Arizona and Missouri. And then there were states that wanted to maintain abortion access. That was Colorado, Maryland, Montana, Nevada, and New York. A win is a win. I was going to say a small victory, but I imagine that's not very small for the women who live in those states, and especially not small for women who live in states that have, more or less banned abortion. Whew. I'm sorry. I do a podcast about pop culture. I could talk about frivolous shit when I have a sense of safety, when I'm relatively confident that tomorrow and the next day and the next month are going to be okay. And I don't feel that right now. talking to you about Rel and Ocho and their breakup and who did what and who's being snippy online and blah, blah, blah. How does this affect my life? Kiki and her new book, I'm happy for her book. I hope it hits the New York Times bestsellers list. Kiki and what was going on with her and her dude and all that other stuff. Like, how does this affect my life? Nick Cannon and Mariah. I had a lot of thoughts that I thought were really important about that last week. Them folks been broken up for, I don't know, over a decade now. He's still talking about that lady. This has no effect on my life. Nick Cannon's desire not to be seen as a Russell or a Stedman or an ASAP Rocky because he just couldn't wrap his ego around Mariah being more famous than him. And so he decided to go make a whole football team of children with like 10 women. It's dumb as fuck. But how does it affect my life? Same thing with like Cam and what's the girl, Jazzy? He liked to cheat. She know about the cheating. She's still sitting there. So I guess she let him cheat in peace. Again, how does this affect my life? I can't care right now. I had this idea that I would do the podcast and we could come on and talk about stupid shit because we need a distraction. Perhaps we don't. I don't know. I don't know what we need. I feel just lost. I woke up yesterday morning. Actually, started before. I'm recording this on Thursday, by the way. I went to bed on Tuesday night, and I'm 7 hours ahead. So when I went to bed around, I don't know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, some poll results had just started to come in. And at the time I went to bed, I think Kamala Harris had just won Vermont. So she had like 3 electoral votes. And then Trump had gotten a bunch of other states and, it was up by 20. I was like, ooh, I don't like this imbalance. But it was nothing to fret about at the time. And I just was like, I hope America does the right thing. Like, I don't have no faith in it, but like, I really do hope that America does the right thing. And then I woke up the next morning and usually I wake up and I search around on the other side of the bed looking for my phone. And I just like took 10 minutes to just lay in bed with my eyes closed. It was a deliberate thought to just have another 10 minutes of peace in case it was the last 10 minutes that I had for a while, in which everything just still seemed okay, in which I still had, some sense of hope, some sense of optimism. And then I reached for my phone and I saw what the new numbers were. And I was like, it's too far apart. Trump is too far ahead. Pennsylvania wasn't in yet. I think he was like at 230 something. And then Pennsylvania came in and he was at 266. And I want to say Kamala Harris was still in like the 190s or something. And I was like, yo, she's not going to win this. Fuck. I was up for a couple hours, just sort of like, maybe like she could just, all these outstanding states, like maybe she can flip all of them. Maybe it's possible. Maybe something like, God, please. And then AP called it for Trump. And I burst into tears. Like I sobbed in my bed because that's what I felt. It's only been 24 hours. I don't expect to have worked through all of my feelings or processed anything. Like I'm still just, a gigantic ball of what the fuck. Reached out to all my American friends that are over here. Everyone feels about like I do. My friends that live over here, South Africa and Ghana, have hit me up and I'm so sorry, babe. Are you okay? They know how bad it is. I can believe it because it's America and my expectations aren't really all that great. But also, I can't believe we did this shit. The stupid half of the country is holding the rest of us hostage to this like lowbrow, idiotic, nonsensical, illogical, hateful, petty bullshit in exchange for cheap groceries. I saw Jimmy Kimmel's monologue from last night, and he basically summed up the election. We had a choice between the prosecutor and the criminal, and we chose the criminal. That's it. Couple more bright spots. If you need a distraction from what's going on, if you just need like mindless entertainment, I don't think I'm going to do a review of it at this point. Tyler Perry's completely and utterly ridiculous new series on Netflix. I binged it over the course of 2 days. Somewhere around the opening scene of episode 1, I was like, this is going to be a wild ride and I'm probably going to regret it at the end, but I'm going to just stay along anyway. It is unhinged. The acting, just so. The dialogue, I don't know. Tyler Perry has an obsession with making people repeat themselves. And the name of the show is Beauty in Black. I don't think I said it. The characters have to repeat things like at minimum 3 times. I think it's 8 episodes in the series. If they stop repeating everything, I think he probably could have got it down to 6 episodes. It's a good premise. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's sex trafficking, and then there's adult entertainers. Also, a super wealthy Black family that runs a hair care empire. You would think that these things wouldn't overlap, but somehow they do. There is a strong representation of gay men and gay sex throughout the series. None of the characters are remotely likable. There's a downtrodden woman named Kimmy who I feel really bad for, and I guess I'm rooting for her. I don't know if I really like her. She seemed like an all right person. She seemed to like to do the right thing. What was the girl on All American? Spencer's best friend who grew up with him in South LA, the brown skinned girl with the short hair. She had a little girlfriend. I used to watch that show religiously. I cannot remember her name, but she's more downtrodden than that chick. And that chick was down bad. There's machine guns involved. I know you're like, wait, how did we get machine guns? Because we were talking about a strip club and then like a really wealthy Black family that has a legitimate business enterprise. Where did the machine guns come from? That's what I thought when the machine guns came out. Richard Lawson, he used to be Uncle Richard, but he went back to being just Richard Lawson. Bianca's daddy. He's in there. In general, when I've seen him in shows, I've never watched him and thought he was a terrible actor. I mean, he's not winning Oscars, but I never thought he was, I never thought he was trash. I don't know what he was directed to do for this series. His acting, ungood. Debbie Morgan. Tyler likes Richard Lawson and Debbie Morgan. They were his most recent project, the one with Megan Good, the divorce one. Debbie is in this one too. Her acting is fine. Her hair is laid. She looks really good. It is interesting. It is compelling. Somewhere around episode 5, it really skips the shark. Like it really just goes completely left and just unhinged. That's when the machine guns enter the picture. And I was like, I need to stop watching. But I was so caught up in the storyline at that point. Like I just needed to know what was going to happen next, only to get all the way to the end of episode 8. And I'm like looking at the screen. I'm like, okay, like we got 20 minutes left. How they going to wrap all this up? Only to get to the end of episode 8. And they'd be like part 1, part 2 coming soon in 2025. What? I thought it was a limited series. I didn't know it was like season 1. I'm sitting here complaining about it because as terrible as all the characters are, there's just enough compelling story arc to want to know what happens next. All these terrible, trifling people. I need to know what happens next. All the holes in the story. Still, I need to know what happens next. So if you need to pass the time, you just need mindless entertainment that you don't really have to, like, you could put it on in the background and then also play on your phone because everybody says the same thing 3 times. You can still keep up with the storyline. Lioness is back. I used to talk about Lioness all the time. It's back on Peacock. They didn't really advertise it. You know what? Let me take that back. Because my VPN is not always on, so I don't always get that same advertisements that people get in the States. Let me take that back. But Lioness is back. I saw one of my friends posting about it. He was super excited. I saw it was back and dropped what I was doing and immediately went to go watch it. It was 2 episodes up. It should be around 3 right now. But it's good TV. You know how sometimes I talk about I just like to see people with big guns just shoot shit up? It's like that, but with Zoe Saldana. She runs an off-the-grid rogue team of gentlemen who like to shoot shit with big guns, but then they also put people undercover, women undercover, to get closer to the asset that they are kind of trying to kill. Does that make sense? It's good, I promise. I don't know if it's as good as season 1 yet, because, they take a while to, like, set up the story, like, get into the drama of it all. So we'll see. But so far, so good. And then Diplomat 2, I don't remember anything about Diplomat 1 instead of the husband got on my last nerves and I liked the wife. That's all I remember. It's been so long since it originally came out and I watched it, I don't remember the storyline. But I'm excited that it's back. I just have to find the time to go back and watch season 1 in order to understand season 2. Because I put season 2 on and like the characters were talking and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I don't remember any of these characters. I have no context here. So I actually have to go back and watch 1 to understand 2. I ain't got nothing else to do. Sitting over here trying not to cry or drown my sorrows in this inexpensive bubbly, which really ain't a bad idea. That's not the point though. That's the episode for today. I will try to fix my mind in order to discuss and be interested in the nuts and berries of what our podcast is supposed to be about for next week. I need a minute. I feel like most of the country, even though I'm not in it, I'm still of it. So next week, I try to pull my shit together. Can't believe we did that shit. Talk Tuesday. Bye.
Today's episode is brought to you by Angie. Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs and projects done well. Let me tell you, there's the version of it where you try to do something at home, and then there's a version of it where you have someone help you, you watch them do it the right way, and you go, thank God I didn't try to do that myself. I have fully done things around the home that I think look good, and then a bang in the night, and I wake up to a shelf collapsing, a painting falling off the wall. I've seen it all go south. I own a home, and I can tell you, I know how much work it can take. Whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Whatever your home project, big or small, indoor or outdoor, you can Angie that and connect with skilled professionals to get the project done well. Right now, one of my wish lists is I want a bike for my condo in Milwaukee, and I would love to rig it up on a pulley in the ceiling because I have one of those like lofted ceilings, but I'm so scared to try that on my own. Angie has 20 years of home experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.